you transcribed a lick. That's awesome. Now what? In this video, I'm going to show you how to actually use a lick that you transcribed and go beyond just cutting and pasting that lick into your playing. Whether you transcribed the lick yourself or you got it from somewhere else, like out of a transcription book or something. By the way, this video is not going into the merits of each. I think transcribing yourself is obviously the way to go. That's not what this is about. This is just about how to use a lick that you have that hopefully you transcribed, and just so you know, so don't come at me in the comments. This is an incredibly important topic. I know I struggled with this, and I know you might be struggling with this as well because I get messages about it all the time. How do I actually incorporate these ideas into my playing? Dave, I transcribed this solo, but how do I go from just playing it to putting it in my playing? I'm going to show you a very simple way to do that in this video. It's not going to be overwhelming. It's not going to be confusing. Don't worry, trust me, we're gonna get into it. Just before I talk about it, I did create a specific PDF worksheet for this video. The only thing you need to do to get it is click the link at the top of the description down below and also in the pinned comment, or you can just go to davepollack.com/transcribed lick. Even though I will be jumping inside that worksheet here in a minute, I want you to have it for yourself so you can download it, you can print it out if you want, you can write on it, you can have it as a resource so you don't always just have to come back to this video. You can have it for yourself whenever you want. I first want to talk about the importance of going beyond just cutting and pasting the lick. The first mistake I see people make when they transcribe something is they think that when they transcribe a line, that means that they're going to take that line and then insert it into that song or over their set of chord changes. All right, I transcribed a 2-5-1 in B flat major, so now every time I see a 2-5-1 in B flat major, I can use that lick, and that's it. Okay, that's fine, but you can go beyond that. Another mistake I see is people transcribe a lick. I'll use the example of a 2-5-1 again. Transcribe the 2-5-1 in B flat major, so they could use it over B flat major, but then they say, oh, I should maybe learn it in 12 keys. So now I can use that lick in all 12 2-5-1s that I come across. Yes, this is a good idea and it's a good exercise for you to do for a bunch of reasons, but that's really not the use of transcribing licks if you want to really incorporate it into your playing. There's a much better thing you can do. What is that thing? Well, it's to break apart the lick and find out why you like it. What speaks to you about the lick? Is it the rhythm? Is it the shape? Is it the articulation? Is it the inflection? Is it the harmony? There are a lot of different elements that go into music, right? We just have our 12 notes in our system of music that we use. So music is everything that we add to those notes. Before I start rambling even more about this, I want to jump inside the worksheet and show you exactly how to do it. Here we go. All right, as you see, we're inside of the PDF. You transcribed a lick. Now what? This is for C instruments, but make sure you just download the correct worksheet for your instrument. So I have C instruments, treble clef and bass clef. I have E flat instruments and B flat instruments. I don't know exactly what instrument you're playing, so I'm going to talk in concert pitch. So the lick that I'm going to be talking about today is a Dexter Gordon lick over Blue Bossa, the famous recording of Blue Bossa, and it's a minor 2-5-1 lick going to concert C minor. So I included the entire lick here written out for you, but now I want you to listen to it exactly how he played it in his recording. Quick aside, if you know this solo, and if you don't, I highly encourage you to go check it out. But there's so much great stuff. Every single measure, every note he plays is just so perfect in the solo. So there's a lot of things I could have chosen for this, but this is a really perfect line for what I'm going to talk about, and it's a really great line to learn in general. So like I said earlier, one of the most important parts of actually using transcription in your playing is to break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks and focus on a specific element that you can then add into your playing. If you know anything about the way I like to teach, I like to break complicated topics down into bite-sized elements so that you can focus on those smaller, simpler ideas, and then in real time, i.e. when you're improvising, when you're soloing, you can then alter them, change them, do whatever you want in real time to fit the current musical situation. What I'm going to show you here in breaking this apart doesn't mean you can only use this in Blue Bossa, doesn't mean you can only use it over minor 2-5-1, doesn't only mean you can use it over Bossa Nova in general. What I'm going to show you is how to take an element, a specific sound, and then you can apply it anywhere you want. And that's the magic with improvisation and transcription. There are a bunch of different elements to this line that I absolutely love, but I'm going to focus specifically on the 5 chord here. Nothing against the 2 chord. We could talk about that. I'm going to focus specifically on the 5 chord and specifically on 2 notes that he plays here. Those 2 notes are this B flat here, the concert B flat, and this concert A flat. Why am I focusing on them? Well, if you listen to the line, they give a specific sound over the chords. And in this example, I'm only going to be talking about harmony. Like I said earlier, we can break apart the shape of the line. You can work on the shape. You can work on rhythms. I might do a whole other video on how to transcribe other elements of maybe even this exact line. If you want that, let me know in the comments down below. I can talk about a bunch of different ways to use this lick into your playing and incorporate elements of it. But for this one, I'm just going to talk about these two notes. I hear something specific when he plays them here. Now, this whole line has something in it that's really cool, and I'll explain a little bit down here. But these two notes specifically, I really love. And if you notice, I put them here on the second line. So the chord is G7. It's a minor 2-5, so a lot of people just play G7 flat 9, but if you know the song Blue Bossa, it's actually written as a G7 sharp 9 because the melody note there is the concert B flat. So he uses both, as you see, the sharp 9 and the flat 9. Technically, sharp 9 would be written as A sharp. Don't kill me. I wrote it as B flat, okay? I'm lazy. I like seeing things written simpler for me. So it's the sharp 9 to flat 9, then resolving to the 5. So even though I highlighted just those two, really it includes this G as well. Sharp 9 to flat 9 to 5. Sharp 9 to flat 9 to 5. First, let's talk about why sharp 9 and flat 9 even matter here a little bit. Remember, music theory. Think about that. Music theory. Which word comes first? Music always comes before theory. So this is just all stuff we're using to analyze what somebody played so that we can use it ourselves. Think of it like a recipe. If somebody comes up with a great recipe and puts a bunch of random stuff in a pot and it's the greatest thing you've ever tasted, if you can't replicate that, you don't know how to replicate certain elements of it, how are you going to ever make it again? Hope you get lucky? Maybe. But if you understand why it creates a certain sound, i.e. learning the theory behind, in this case, this lick, then you can replicate it and use it in your own playing in different ways. So the sharp 9, flat 9 are two common alterations of an altered chord. Usually when we talk about an altered chord, we're talking about altering the 9th and the 5th. Okay, and I showed here about the altered scale. I'm not going to get into the whole scale today, but this is the G altered scale. It's half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, right? If you've ever worked on the altered scale, you know what this is. If you haven't, don't worry about it. This video is not about the altered scale. I could do a whole nother video on that. But the sharp 9 and flat 9 comes from the scale. If you notice here, I put them in bold. Part of the G7 altered chord is A flat, which is the flat 9, and then A sharp or B flat as the sharp 9. So we have flat 9, sharp 9. This lick specifically, he plays sharp 9 first, then down to the flat 9, then resolving to the 5. Listen to the lick again, and listen now specifically for the end of the line. I'm going to play his recording again. When he comes down, he specifically lands on that concert B flat, then the A flat, and it resolves nicely to the G, which is the 5 of the 1 chord. Check it out. Now hear me play it. It's going to be a little slower, and it's going to be a little clearer for you to hear. I'm going to play this entire line again, and specifically, once again, listen to the end here. So for me, when transcribing this line, that stuck out to me the most. Yes, the rhythms are great. The shape of the line is great. Everything about it is perfect. It's a perfect line, really. I mean, I highly recommend learning this. Right? It's a perfect line, but to me, that harmony stuck out the most. That sharp 9, flat 9 to 5. Here's what just the sharp 9 to flat 9 to 5 sounds like over the long 2-5-1. So when we get to the 5 chord, I'm just going to play a half note of concert B flat, half note A flat, and then a whole note G. Check that out. All right, Dave, you've talked enough about this. I'm tired of hearing you talk and playing the same line over and over again. That's great that we have the line. How do we go beyond this? Okay, that might be what you're thinking right now. I got you. The goal now is we have this specific sound. When I use the word sound, I'm not talking about like a tone quality. I'm talking about harmonic sound. So now we have this altered sound, the sharp 9 to flat 9 to 5. How do we incorporate that sound into our playing? Do we just play sharp 9, flat 9? 5? Well, maybe. Do we just play this lick? Maybe, but like I said in the beginning, you don't want to just copy and paste. What we're going to do now is improvise. We're just going to loop a minor 2-5-1, a long 2-5-1. So it's going to be measure the 2, measure the 5, and it's actually going to be 2 measures of the 1, but I'll just rest in the second measure of the 1 just to keep it a nice 4-bar phrase. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start simply, and I'm only going to start by playing over the 5 chord. This is something that I think a lot of you can learn from. when you try to incorporate a specific sound, in this case, these two notes resolving to this note, into your playing, don't sit there and play through the entire chorus of the song, because if you miss that 2-5-1, you're going to have to wait till it comes around. You're going to be thinking about a bunch of other things. Remember, you only have a certain amount of bandwidth to focus on this. I also don't even want you to start by playing the 2 chord and going through this. That's still more things to think about. Just focus on the specific sound you're trying to accomplish. In this case, sharp 9, flat 9 to 5. You'll hear when I do it, I just start by doing that, and then I branch out as I feel more comfortable hearing that sound. And that's the other thing too. The more you loop it, you're going to start to hear that sound. It's going to stick out more because repetition breeds familiarity, right? And familiarity is going to breed excellence, hopefully. So when you practice this and you go through it, just sit there and loop it like I'm going to do. And you're going to hear me play just the sharp 9, flat 9. You're going to hear me branch out a bit. And then I do start playing over the 2 chord. And then I go into some altissimo, whatever. But the goal is I'm trying to highlight this sound over this, leading to the 1 chord each time, and I'm just going to mess around with it. The parameter here is sharp 9, flat 9 to 5. Yes, I have to play with a good sound, good articulations that fit bossa nova, rhythms, style, all that stuff I've talked about in lots of other videos. This is just about the harmony. So check out how I'm just going to mess around and improvise using this sound. Pretty cool, huh? I'm sure by the end of that, you could really pick out those notes. If I didn't tell you before I did it, like this entire video, if I just played that recording from the very beginning of the video, would you have known specifically what I was focusing on? Maybe, because it was kind of obvious in the beginning. But the goal is that in the overall sense of you playing the tune, when you're soloing through it, or any song, not just this one, and you get to that specific spot, in this case, a minor 2-5-1, you now have that harmony, you have that sound, you know you can pre-hear that and play something. Are you going to play an exact lick? Did I teach you an exact lick yet? Well, sort of, I guess Dexter's lick, right? I am going to give you a few sample lines in a second. If you've already downloaded the worksheet, you've already seen them. But the goal here is not that I'm just giving you a line and say, play this, learn this in 12 keys. If you ever have a teacher do that, by the way, they say, here's a lick, just learn it in 12 keys. And like, that's the end. Might be time to get a new teacher. But that's a part of the process. If that's, hey, learn this lick in 12 keys, now let's, experiment with breaking it apart and using different pieces of it like I'm teaching you, that's great, okay? You don't just want to copy and paste. That's not the point of this. I encourage you to find a line, pick out a part that you like. In this case, it was harmony, and then just improvise around it, with that being the parameter. Even if you can't play the 2 chord yet, just focus on the 5 chord. Even if you can't play lots of notes around it, just see what you can do with those 2 notes, just changing the rhythms. Right, displacing them, going back and forth, jumping octaves, something to kind of just get your mind into that sense of, okay, these notes work. I'm going to aim for these notes, and then I'm going to add other things around it. Now, I will give you some sample lines. So these are just a couple easy lines that I wrote out featuring the sharp 9 and flat 9. I didn't write them in any order of difficulty, but I do want you to note one thing. When I wrote these out, I did incorporate elements of the altered scale above. Now, the main focus is the B flat and A flat. So that's going to be here. That's going to be here. And then, oh, I always resolve to G, so I don't need to circle that. It's going to be here. And it's going to be here. Always resolving to the G. Okay. Now, this one is da, 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 da. You'll hear it. This one has some notes in between it and the resolution note, and that's totally fine. This one uses these two notes, which is actually, if you go up here, the third and the flat 5 of the scale, of the altered scale. So it's written as C flat just for ease of writing this, but it's using parts of the altered scale as well. And then here, I literally play the altered scale just going down the octave, starting on A flat, landing on G. I just made sure I landed on G, and then I went backwards. So that literally just uses the altered scale from top to bottom. And because of that, we have our nice sharp 9 to flat 9 to 5 resolution at the end. So now I'm going to play these 4 lines for you. Hope you enjoy. And there we go. That's how you break apart a lick, find a spot that you like, figure out why you like it. In this case, for me, it was the harmony, and then work on it yourself to then incorporate it into your playing. Now, could I have showed you examples of me playing this in different settings and different styles, and a rock song and a bossa nova, another bossa nova, and a swing and a ballad, whatever? Sure, but I think you understand the point of this and how to do it yourself. The point of this video is not for me to show you me doing the exercise. It's for me to teach you how to do it yourself. Then you can go and actually do the exercise and incorporate it into your playing. Remember, I said I broke apart one part of it. You might not like that specific part of that lick. You might like another part of the lick, or you might not like the lick at all. I think you should. I think it's great, but remember, different strokes, different folks. I love it. The point is, I want you to find a line that you like. It could be short. It could be half a measure. This was 2 measures, but I only talked about 2 notes. You can find rhythms that you like. I really love this articulation that he uses, or this cool rhythm, or whatever. Find something that you like. Figure out what it is over the certain chord changes in the specific part of the song. Figure out what you like about it. Is it the rhythm? Is it the notes? Is it this? Is it that? And then figure out that one element, strip everything else away, just focus on that element. With the, iReal Pro and all these free backing tracks everywhere, there's no excuse to say I can't practice. I don't have friends that'll sit there and practice with me. Use iReal Pro, go on YouTube, find a backing track, put a metronome on, play along with the original recording, whatever. You have the tools at your disposal, free, might I add, not even paid. Obviously, iReal Pro you have to pay, but there's so many free options or cheap options out there. There's no excuse if you really want to get better at this music. Remember to grab the worksheet that goes along with this video by clicking the link at the top of the description down below, or clicking the link in the pinned comment. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for your time, for your support, and for checking out everything I'm doing here on the channel. You really make it all worthwhile, and I make the videos for you. So if you have any ideas about future videos or topics you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm also really excited because I'm getting close to finishing my new course called Intro to Improv. It's a complete step-by-step beginner guide to improvisation. No, it's not the entire gamut of improvisation like my Simple Steps course. It is specifically focused on you if you are a beginner improviser, whether you just started improvising, you're getting confused, you're getting overwhelmed by everything that's either online or with teachers or all these different resources, or you haven't improvised yet, you're maybe nervous to or scared, or you just don't know how. This course will be for you. I don't confuse you, I don't overwhelm you, I just give you exactly what you need to get improvising quickly, and then the sky's the limit from there. More information will be coming out about that very soon, so make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.